We had some time over the next few days to get some good progress on the van. I firstly wanted to make spraying the exposed metal on the passenger side with an Etch Primer the priority, as last time the rain prevented this from happening. I used a sander to lightly go over any of the areas of exposed metal just to make sure any surface rust was removed. While I did this, Martha continued removing the spray paint from the roof. We really wanted to make sure all the spray paint from the roof was removed in the next few trips to the van. This was very much more of the same in terms of removing the paint with the wet and dry sandpaper. Nothing exciting, but it just had to be done. Martha was making really good progress with the roof. After I was finished sanding, I used some cellulose thinners and some rags just to clean this area properly before priming. This primer will only be temporary to protect the bare metal for now, as when all the bodywork is ready, we will remove it and spray with the proper spray gun in a booth. I sprayed the exposed metal with U-POL's Acid 8 Etch Primer. Dad and I got ready to remove the sliding door. We wanted to continue removing the doors and bonnet, so we were able to carry out any repairs to them inside the workshop, as it will be much easier to work on them off the van. Also, with the doors and bonnet removed, it will be much easier to work on the areas of the van you can't get to with them on. With the sliding door removed, we put it back in the van for now. Now it was time to take the bonnet off. The top of the bonnet is largely fine, but on the underside, the box sections had some significant rust which will need attention. I gave the engine bay gutters a good sweep out, as there was some leaves, twigs and just general rubbish that had built up over time. I then used the airline just to clean out anything I'd missed. The engine bay itself isn't too bad, but there is definitely some areas of rust that we will need to look at. With the bonnet removed, I moved on to removing the front bumper. This should have been a relatively quick job, but it ended up taking a lot longer than it should have. The bracket on the driver's side corner bumper was rusted and bent, which was why there was rope holding it up to keep it off the floor. Even though the bracket was rusted and bent, I was able to undo the nut relatively easily to get that side of the bumper free. However, the passenger side was a different story. It was so seized, we tried to use some penetrating spray to loosen it up. Then we tried undoing the nut with a socket, but it wasn't budging. Then we tried a spanner, but it still wasn't moving. Because the corner bumper brackets were so rusted, we will definitely be replacing them. I decided just to bend the bracket until it broke to get the front bumper off. I then used the airline again just to get rid of any loose rubbish that remained. The next day I came back on a mission to finish removing the spray paint from the roof. I was going to spend today finishing off removing the silver paint from the front section of the roof. And then the next couple of days I would work on removing the spray paint from the driver's side of the roof. We have spent so much time removing spray paint from the van. We are definitely looking forward to the day all the spray paint has been removed. After a good final clean, the front section of the roof was done. The spray paint removal from the driver's side I didn't film, but I did take some pictures. This was pretty much my starting point. I spent a couple of hours getting it to this point. I didn't have any longer to work on it today, but it was nice to make a head start. I came back the next day, starting where I finished yesterday. After many hours of work, I finally got this side of the roof clear. I was really happy with the progress, and it's so nice knowing that the entire roof is now clear of spray paint. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and ring the bell to see what happens next.